Hi everybody, this is Jared from Transformation Fitness. Today what we're going to talk about is basically if you have a joint issue, if you should be training around it when you're trying to lose body fat, and just trying to avoid the issue and kind of do what you can to kind of keep burning fat, or if you should kind of do the mobility and work on getting rid of that issue before trying to continue on with your routine to burn fat. This is a very important topic. A lot of people just dismiss this kind of issue and work to train around it. The biggest issue you're going to run into with that is you have a hormone called cortisol. So what that is that's your stress hormone. There's lots of different things that affect cortisol. So stress is one of them. If you have a joint issue, that's another form of stress. If you're just kind of overworked, thinking about financial issues, all these things cause stress. So the biggest enemy to fat loss is cortisol. So if you think of this in a practical way where, say for example, you have a shoulder issue, anytime you maybe do any overhead pressing or any bench pressing, that may cause issues with your shoulder. If you have, say for example, a lower back issue, there's lots of things that can aggravate that. There may be squatting may be a problem, deadlifting may be a problem, lunging may be a problem. So if you try to start working around these issues and don't really focus on taking care of the problem itself, you're going to run into a really hard time trying to lose body fat. So overall, this isn't going to be a great strategy for you because trying to train through these things is only going to lead to possibly the injury becoming worse. And second of all, your stress hormone is going to be high, cortisol, and that's going to cause more issues and cause more of a struggle losing body fat. So some better options would be to try and, instead of, say for example, you know certain things bother that issue. So say for example, you're doing an overhead press and always that just bugs you to kind of lift overhead. Something you can do to counter that is work on, so maybe some, say, rolling. So grab a lacrosse ball and start working on rolling your chest, rolling your lats, rolling your back. Possibly work on a mobility exercise. So maybe try working on strengthening your rotator cuff. All these things are going to be dependent on what's going on. If you don't know how to treat what you have, see a professional. We do work on that here at Transformation Fitness, but I'm not saying you have to come here, but just make sure that you kind of focus on getting rid of that issue before you just try training around it. I've seen lots of people do this the hard way, and it always never results in something that you want it to, and won't really help you that much with fat loss, because then in the long run, you're just going to keep trying to train around it. Eventually, it'll probably hinder you from training at all because you're just going to be in so much pain. I'll go more in depth on some future videos on some exact things of what you can do to help joint issues, but for this topic alone, it's not a topic you hear a lot of people talk about, but it is very important because I see tons of people that come in to train with us, and first time they start training, we start everybody off with mobility. So if you're just kind of getting into training, don't worry, like getting into mobility will still help you get to losing body fat, especially when you take into effect your nutrition, and doing some of that stuff on the side as well. Getting rid of some of this painful issues will help in the long run or even short term, just helping get your body to start burning fat and moving forward. Because sometimes all it takes is you may be doing tons of training right now and just having a hard time. There's a couple things that maybe hinder you. Maybe your workout isn't appropriate for you. It may be that your nutrition is not on par. Or possibly it could be because you have too much cortisol and like too much stress in your life, and you may need to actually start to work on some joint issues or work on de-stressing. So you may need to do things like yoga, qigong, doing Epsom salt baths, doing cold showers. All these things are a good part of recovery, and will help you a ton, especially if you're running into being very stressed out and having a hard time for whatever reason losing body fat. Anyways, I'm starting to get into a lot of different topics here, so that's other stuff we will cover. But for this portion of the topic, if you have any joint issues, don't try to keep working around them and avoid them. You need to address the issue. You need to kind of work on those things, and you need to start basically getting those joints back to healthy, because if they don't get back to healthy, you're always going to have that underlying cortisol elevated, and you're going to have a really hard time losing body fat. That's all I wanted to talk to you guys about today. I hope you guys liked this video. Leave a comment below if there's any topics you want me to cover, or if there's anything you've kind of found in your past with training that you may have some issues with that you want some help with. Please leave a comment below, and also let us know if you like the video. Thanks. Have a good day. Bye.